Blog Talk Radio.
Spiritual food for thought, get the word into your heart. Take advantage of this time. Spiritual food for your mind. Spiritual food, oh, for thought, get the word into your heart. Take advantage of this time. Spiritual food for your mind. Spiritual food for thought. Spiritual food for thought. Spiritual food for thought.
Be engaged. Be empowered. Be inspired. With your girl, inspirational speaker, missionary LaTanyha, on Spiritual Food for Thought Global Radio.
Hey, 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 that's right. It's your girl, your auntie, your sister, your friend, inspirational speaker, missionary LaTanyha Boyd here. And guess what? I know you know the answer because I say this on every show. So why don't you say it with me? I'm super excited. Yes, I am. We're going to have a dynamic show on this evening. And so I want to welcome each and every one of you from streaming in live. If you're tuned in live via phone, and I have so much to share with you on today, and God is so good all the time, and all the time, God is good. Let me give you the dial-in number, area code 602-753-1683. We want you to join us. Go ahead and tweet us, because we know we're going to have some Twitter moments, and we want your friends and everyone to know that they need to tune into your favorite Christian station of Spiritual Food for Thought Global Radio. And today's hashtag is JSYD, stands for Jump Start Your Day. And our handle is Spiritual Food RA. We want to hear from you because we have something for you on today. So go ahead and tweet out the show and let everyone to know that they need to tune in. This is our segment of Jumpstart Your Day. And just to give you a little background about Jumpstart Your Day and why it's a new lineup for us on Spiritual Food for Thought Global Radio, we've been getting rave reviews on just the impact of this show. And the premise of Spiritual Food for Thought Global Radio is to engage, empower, and inspire others to move and drive forward in this journey we call life. And this particular segment is really dear to my heart on the Jumpstart Your Day movement. And what is that all about? To transform your mindset and learn how to line up your thoughts, desires, and emotions to create the life and business that you so desire. And with that said, we've had such phenomenal and gifted guests who have come to the studio to empower and impact lives across the globe. You know, we are global. We have people tuned in from Nairobi, Kenya, Australia, London, and all over the United States. And so we want to thank them for their continued support. Without you guys, we could not do this. And the other thing I want to share with you is, this week we made a huge announcement with regards to how we are impacting the world on another level. And that is with our new phone app. That's right. We have a mobile app, and we're just so excited about it. Black Vibes have put together such an awesome mobile app for Spiritual Food for Thought that we are super excited. We've had I want to give a big shout out to some of our faithful listeners from Nairobi, Kenya has already downloaded our mobile app. We've had someone from the Virgin Islands who have downloaded our mobile app. I know you're saying, okay, so how do I go about downloading your mobile app on Android or the BlackBerry? Go to blackvibes.com/faithabeliever. You can also log onto our website, which is latboyd.com. Just hit the radio tab and go ahead and upload or download our mobile app of Spiritual Forethought. And we are just so elated on, just how we can move and drive forward and in this journey and how we're touching lives globally. So we thank you for your continued support of Spiritual Food for Thought Global Radio and our mission and what we're achieving of today. So thank you so much for your continued support. Now, today's show is Jumpstart Your Day with a phenomenal guest, and I'm just so excited that she's here in the virtual studio. She's looking fabulous, and she's all pumped up to impact you guys with some great tips on purpose and passion and your purpose. And so she's going to be sharing with us how to accomplish more in a fraction of the time. So get ready. We're going to take a brief break, and when we come back, we'll have none other than Dr. Renee Sunday on the air. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after these messages.
Spiritual Food for Thought, 31 inspirational quotes to jumpstart your day by LaTanyha Boyd, consists of inspirational messages that offer daily words of empowerment, promote spiritual growth and development in the Lord Jesus Christ for your day-to-day living. Spiritual Food for Thought, 31 inspirational quotes to jumpstart your day. Available now on Kindle, ebook, and paperback. Log on to www.latboyd.com.
Are you starting a new business, releasing a CD, writing a new book? Consider Mitchell Productions for your web design services. Visit www.mitchell-productions.com for portfolio samples, specials, and package prices. Remember, a website is not a luxury item. It's a necessity. Check out mitchell-productions.com or find them at facebook.com/Mitchell Productions.
Every woman has a breaking point. What will make your soul cry out? The question of ordinary women who experience passion and pain in their lives. They ask the question, where is God? Secrets, lies, betrayal, hope, healing, and forgiveness. Find out in the new short story novel, Broken Vessel, by Sharice Marconia Henry on Amazon.com.
A drama romance story about 4 girlfriends with different personalities, living the single life, partying, enjoying themselves. Suddenly the 4 realize they are getting older and need to find a man to complete their world. With lies, deceit, and betrayal being the name of the game, who will end up finding love, or will the 4 end up all alone or dead? Is This Love? Now available on Amazon.
Be engaged, be empowered, be inspired. With your girl, inspirational speaker, missionary LaTanyha, on Spiritual Food for Thought Global Radio.
And we are back. Welcome to your favorite station of Spiritual Food for Thought Global Radio. That's right. It's your girl, your auntie, your sister, your friend, inspirational speaker, missionary LaTanyha Boyd here. And we have such a wonderful and she has such a warm spirit. I'm just, I'm so humbled by her and what God is doing in her, for her, and through her. None other than Dr. Renee Sunday is in the studio. She is the founder and CEO of Sunday Publishing Company, LLC, and RS Commerce PC. And this is her statement. She says, I have practiced anesthesia for over 13 years. Her mission is to encourage and empower others to enjoy life and obtain their dreams. Furthermore, she enjoys being an instrument in God's plan to render anesthesia services to her patients and to show compassion, love, and standard of care. Dr. Renee Sunday is a speaker, a mentor, and a corporate leader. Renee's passion is to be the catalyst to stimulate others forward toward and so we are so excited to have in our studio of Jumpstart Your Day none other than Dr. Renee Sunday. Let's put our hands together and welcome her here to Spiritual Food for Thought Global Radio. Dr. Sunday, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm just so excited, and thank you so much for this opportunity.
Well, we are excited as well, and, that this seems to be my word. I'm just super excited that you are here, and we're going to be talking about your journey and how did you get into being an anesthesiologist. How did that begin for you?
Well, actually, I can start all the way back to childhood. My father used to go in the hospital every year. And, they don't do that nowadays. But come to find out, he had what's called peptic ulcer disease, meaning that he had ulcers. But they would keep you in the hospital at least 3 or 4 days, and he would go in almost every year. But what would happen at that time, my mom would stay at the hospital the whole time he was in the hospital. So it was 3 of us. My sister, she's older, and I'm in the middle, and my brother. And they would separate us because, my family, they took one person, then another person, and while she was taking care of my dad in the hospital. But anyway, I said that I was going to find out why my dad was in the hospital every year because I couldn't stand it being away from my parents and being away from my siblings. And so that was my initial motive of doing it. And then I had a wonderful, wonderful role model, which is my sister, which is a physician as well. So I always was peeking in her books. We're about 4 years apart. So whenever she graduated, I graduated. So I was that little sister that always bothered. But she actually really empowered me. She actually taught me a lot of things beforehand. So she really inspired me. And so that's how I kind of got on the track of being in the medical field. But then I actually did a program in the summer to be with an anesthesiologist, and I really liked how she actually was able to manage home, and she also was a leader in her field of anesthesia. And I said, okay, this is what I want to do. And I had a wonderful opportunity about 3 years ago to meet her, and I know we're on radio, but we actually met in the bathroom, So it was so amazing. She actually cried because she said I was the only person that have come back in her whole career to let her know that she really was a great mentor, a great inspiration in my life.
Wow. That's phenomenal. That is so phenomenal. And, just to have that gifting to care for others. And I briefly read, just covered the surface in reading your bio, and when we spoke earlier, and I just felt the sense of your warmth spirit and your caring and loving spirit that you have, and I know you have a powerful testimony in regards to being in the medical field. Yes, like you said earlier, I've been doing actually now almost 14 years I've been doing anesthesia. But let me tell you a little bit. Let me just tell you a little bit about myself. In 2009, I actually lost my job. Okay, but I was the only. It's about 11 anesthesiologists lost their job. Boom, and I had a Florida license still active. And I was the only physician at that time that actually was able to have a job in Florida. So I would commute back and forth from Atlanta, Georgia to Florida for that job. But guess what? Life happened again, and I lost
my job again. And about 3.5 years I was at that job in Florida. And the good thing that really gave me peace, that I know it wasn't anything I did. I didn't do anything to the patient. It wasn't anything on my end, but they wanted to, you know how life is. They want to not pay the people that, you know, at a certain level. They want someone else that actually can do the same thing with a lower price. And so I lost the job again. So in one day I went from 6 figures to 0 figures. And initially I was more like I was in 2009. I knew God had my back. I knew that when one door closed, a whole lot of other ones going to open up. And so that's kind of what really happened. But I'll be honest, for at least a month, I couldn't say I was fired. Right now I can say it and laugh, but, it was a humbling experience for me to go to school almost 13 years, almost, you know, including, you know, elementary school, high school, and then, you know, my training, especially in anesthesia, to be fired from my job. I'm like, Lord, what's going on? But anyway, I really went back to my faith, and my family encouraged me, my friends encouraged me, and I actually focused on him, and that's kind of where I am right now. I continue to focus on him, and he opened doors every day.
Wow. You know what? And, you know, this is something that Bishop T.D. Jakes says. If you can't figure out your purpose, figure out your passion. Your passion will lead you right into your purpose. And you say, you know, this was your purpose, and to be the anesthesiologist, and then, you know, your passion to care for people and see them to move forward in their journey. Tell us about, you know, your transition, and how did you handle that? I know you said your faith kept you rooted and grounded, but how did you handle that transition?
Well, I'm very transparent now. People, my friends say sometimes, and my family say I'm too transparent. But to me, and Paula White always say this, you have to take the mask off, because the whole goal in your purpose is to help somebody else get to their purpose. Initially, the way I found out was kind of not in a nice situation. It's a whole nother physician. He came up to me and said, you know, Dr. Sunday, we're going to miss you. And I'm like, and I laughed it off. And then when I found out, you know, I had to go outside and regroup, and I had to call my prayer partners, and they actually lifted me up. But, you know, when you get in that secret place, I said, Lord, what's going on? I mean, it's okay to ask God why, but, you know, you got to redirect that pretty quickly back to the word, you know. And I had some days that I cried, and I didn't tell no one in my family for about 2 weeks, actually. And I told my sister, and then we was in prayer, and then I had to build myself up, to be honest, to tell my parents, because, you know, they're elderly, and, you know, we take care of a lot of their needs now. And I know that even though they a man and woman of God, they actually was going to worry about me, that I don't work. And you know, and I gave them peace. I said, Mom, I'm all good. You know, God has me, you know, because I didn't want them to worry. But I'll be honest, I had to have my faith in the word on a daily basis. I had to pray. And the good thing at that time, I was finishing writing my book, and I ended up publishing a book about going through the grieving process. So I actually kind of stayed busy and stayed busy on a positive sense. But I'll be honest, I did cry many nights. As that song said, you cried the last tear. I had to make up in my mind that was the last tear. And then I just left it alone and left it at the altar. I didn't go back and get it like I did several times in that first month. But I left it in God's hand. And he has blown my mind in 2013 and for sure now in 2014. So much has happened more. People say, you sure you? I said, no, it's God. It's nothing that I've done.
Wow, and you say you wrote a book in your transition. Mm-hmm. Tell us about the book that you penned that helped you during this transition. I believe it's Sunday Grief.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Actually, I was in the final stages of it, and the book is actually about my brother. He passed away in April 2011. he actually had what's called a ruptured abdominal aneurysm. So pretty much from stress and blood pressure being high, the main vessel in your body that takes blood everywhere, it had a hole in it. It continued, of course, the blood to come out. So he made it in the surgery, but he didn't wake up after surgery. We knew that God had some, and they were having a good party and all that type of stuff in heaven. But, your human side, when you get by yourself, when all those people leave, from the funeral, when you by yourself, our family was close together. We actually are close-knit family, and we knew we had to have that time for grief. But, it was so amazing. The same principles, the same tools that I used grieving from my brother, the same things I used for when I lost my job. The same steps you go through in the grieving process. I mean, really, any loss. I mean, divorce, losing your job, losing your house, and, just anything that you have a loss in life. And I had to use those same principles, and I was like, well, thank God I just penned this, so, I have to walk out what I've written in this book again. I didn't realize it was going to be that close, that I have to walk it out again. I just did it with my brother passing away, but God was there all the time with me. Yes, he was.
Wow. So you know what? You made a good point that, this is a good tool for yourself. And can you share maybe one or two of those tips that you've written in Sunday Grief?
Yes, ma'am. I actually, just real quickly, the first chapter I tell the story of what my family been through, but I switched pretty quickly the next chapter for more of a motivation, self-help. And the main thing is a whole chapter about scriptures that that people and I myself had to meditate on a daily basis. And because I have to have that peace, I have to be fed with the word before I can handle anything in the world. So the main thing is the scriptures are there. I actually, of course, applied the practical things, because sometimes we so spiritual that we're not, as the saying say, no earthly good. But the word was number one. Prayer, listening to people speak, listen to the pastors and the evangelists while they were doing the sermons. I did that. But practical thing is just looking out the window and just seeing how beautiful the world is and God's creation, how the birds don't have nothing to worry about. And I actually live where a lot of deer. I just would look at them and see how wonderful God has made this world. And then, of course, as women, we love to pamper ourselves, from, manicure, pedicure, our hair done and that type of thing. So I actually merged the spiritual and the practical things, and we can apply that to any kind of difficult situation or difficult thing that you have in life.
Absolutely, absolutely. I want to open up the lines, area code 602-753-1683. We're going to take a brief break, and we're here in the studio of Spiritual Food for Thought Global Radio with none other than Dr. Renee Sunday. And when we come back from the break, we're going to be talking about passion and your purpose. And so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back, right after these messages.
A woman's guide to understanding her pain, process, and purpose, based on the parable of the pearl in Matthew 13:45 and 46. I Am a Pearl unfolds key principles in overcoming painful paths and embracing the future. Prepare yourself for a life-changing perspective on your experiences and confirmation of God's unfailing love. I Am a Pearl by author Winter Patterson Davis. Available now and online at winterpatterson.com or Kindle version at amazon.com/kindle-ebooks.com.
God wants you to know that you are a pearl of great value even when you don't feel like.
Every woman has a breaking point. What will make your soul cry out? The question of ordinary women who experience passion and pain in their lives. They ask the question, where is God? Secrets, lies, betrayal, hope, healing, and forgiveness. Find out in the new short story novel, Broken Vessel, by Sharice Marconia Henry on Amazon. Spiritual food for thought.
Be engaged. Be empowered. Be inspired. With your girl, inspirational speaker, missionary LaTanyha, on Spiritual Food for Thought Global Radio.
And we are back. Welcome to our segment of Jumpstart Your Day. And we're here in the studio with none other than Dr. Renee Sunday. And I want to talk about, Dr. Renee, her mission is to encourage and empower others to enjoy life and to obtain their dreams. She has also written a book entitled Passion and Your Purpose. And so I want to get into the passion and your purpose, how to accomplish more in a fraction of the time. Dr. Sunday, please explain to us how you come to write Passion and Purpose.
Well, actually, with the book that I did about grief, one of the main blockers of getting to our purpose is the grief we have, the things that we won't take care of. And so I thought about that. I said, wait a minute. So I listed those, and the top one, of course, was our mindset. And then the next thing was procrastination. And then I actually put some tools in there that you actually can do, things that you need to write your plan out. You need to write the things that you like to do and you don't like to do because, you need to know the difference. And different avenues and different coaching and mentor avenues you can go. And my main thing that I love to do is positive affirmations. We have those in there as well. But actually, I just looked at my own life and just penned it on paper, the things that I had to do because, a lot of times you don't have, it's hard to get to a mentor when you really don't know what your passion is. So you have to kind of figure that out first. I have to kind of get that right before I could actually go to a mentor or a coach.
Wow. And I too talk about in my Jumpstart Your Day movement on, just sharing the power of positive affirmations on a daily basis, how to use positive affirmations. Just when you mentioned, just when you wake up and just to have that, positive affirmation of, I am good enough. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And, the greater is he who is in me than he who is in the world. And I shall succeed on today. I shall achieve all of my goals. And those positive affirmations really start your day in moving in the right direction. Dr. Sunday, are you there?
Oh, yes, that's absolutely correct.
Absolutely. And so I want to open up the phone lines. I do believe we have some people here on the line. Area code 602-753-1683. All you have to do is push the number 1. We'll go ahead and bring you on the air of Jumpstart Your Day with Dr. Renee Sunday. Now, to let our listening audience know how they can get in contact with you, how they can go ahead and purchase your book, Sunday Grief and Passion and Purpose.
Well, yes, there's Sunday Grief MD. You can go to our website, which is sundaypublishingcompany.com, and it's also on Amazon. And the Passion and Purpose, it's so important to get that book. So that's actually a free book. We're going to continue to let that be free. We did a promotion for it to be free, but, I think we're going to continue to let it be free to people because it's very important to get to your purpose because somebody is waiting on you to help them to get to their purpose. But anyway, the website for that is, of course, www.getpurposenow. Now, the G is capitalized, the P is capitalized, and the N is capitalized. And you can click the button, boom, download, and you can download on all your type of internet, types of tablet, iPad, laptop. It'll download very quickly.
Awesome. And listeners, if you're tuned into Spiritual Food for Thought and you're streaming in live, I've also put that on our event page on Facebook, Spiritual Food for Thought Global Radio. We want you to go ahead and follow us there on Facebook. Now, Mr. Phillips, let them know, what is your website again, and are you on Facebook or Twitter, how they can get in contact with you in those social realms?
Oh, yes, I'm on my personal page is, Facebook.com, Renee Sunday. We actually have a private, exclusive group with the Get Purpose. It's called Get Purpose Mastermind Group. And we also have a Twitter account, which is Renee Sunday. And you see the website, again, is Get Purpose Now. And then the publishing company is Sunday Publishing Company. And you can hit contact, and that'll direct you to the emails. But the emails correspond with the name, but it says, at gmail.com.
Awesome, and thank you for sharing. So, Dr. Sunday, let us know what is on the horizon for you.
Well. Well, I actually, one thing that I usually don't talk about is I'm a media personality. I'm actually right now the co-host of a show called Living Day by Day, and it's pretty much based here in the Atlanta area and pretty much screened out in Georgia and North Carolina. And then I'm actually have my own platform that's on the way now, and it's called Good Deeds, and it's radio and television. And we're actually going to launch a Block Talk Radio on the third week of March in the same name, Good Deeds with an S. And we have a website that's coming up, which is Good Deeds with an S, TV, and it'll be, .com. So I'm so excited because, as you could tell, I love to talk, but it's a passion to help people and my purpose, and I want to help other people get to that point. So with all the things I do, the main focus is to propel other people from their passion to their purpose.
And how important would you say it is to walk in your purpose?
Our purpose is the reason we're actually here on earth. The reason, just a little thing that's come in my spirit. What really helped us when my brother first passed is my cousin. He's a minister. He said, William passed because he has finished his mission on earth. I'm like, wow. I've never heard anyone say that. But, he did so many great things in life. And so the thing is, when we wake up in the morning, it's not because of our goodness. It's because God has a plan, and he has a purpose of you being here right now on the earth. That's why we need to help each other. We are our sisters and brothers' keeper, because we're supposed to help each other that we can actually propel people to their purpose. Now, the problem is a lot of people don't know that's when you reach out to people, your family, mentors, coaches, so you can actually get to that point. And we can push you into that, because some people need a push. Because, I'll be honest, I thought that my purpose was helping people through anesthesia. But, see, God had a better plan. You see what I'm saying? So it's very important for you to be in your purpose, because somebody else is waiting on you to say what you have to say to encourage them that they can be in their purpose. So we actually interact. Relationships are very important. God has this thing all figured out, but we just need to walk, I always say, a wow experience. You walk on water. Just focus on him, and he will direct your path.
Amen to that. And, Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you, and plans to give you hope and a future." And I love what you say. I work with a lot of women and mentoring them that, my passion is for them, too, to walk in their purpose. When you begin to walk in your purpose, it's such a peace, and you mentioned that earlier, just to have that peace that you're accomplishing and you're impacting and you're doing what God has sent you here to do. I am so excited that you are here. I do see we have someone here on the line from area code 440. I want to welcome you to Spiritual Food for Thought Global Radio. This is our segment of Jumpstart Your Day. State your name and where you are calling from.
Well, hello, my dear LaTanyha and Dr. Sunday. This is Rhonda, and I'm calling from Ohio. This show has been really great in listening to you ladies speak. And Dr. Sunday, you said some really great things. Number one, when you talked about losing your job, and God has been speaking to me lately about opportunities that we have or people who come into our lives and it don't fall through. And sometimes, you know, opportunities or people who come into our lives to get us from one point to another, and then that closes, and then some, you know, in order for something else to come along and then take us to that next level. So what you said was really great, and just about the grieving process. Also, we need to realize that there are many different phases to grief. You know, it's not just when someone we love passes away. It can be a child getting sick. It could be losing a job. It could be relocating and stuff like that. So we need to recognize that in order to deal with it properly and move on. And so you really touched on some great things, and I appreciate the time you have taken out to share some wonderful wealth of knowledge with us tonight. So thank you so much, and God bless you.
Oh, thank you, and God bless you.
Well, I want to thank you, my sister. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my dear sister, Rhonda Stacey Andrews, and she is a phenomenal host of Speak Life Radio, which is designed to feed the mind, body, and spirit with edifying words of encouragement. So I want to thank you so much for taking your time out to support me and the show, and I'm so glad that you
Absolutely. Spiritual food for thought. I mean, it's just that. It's just that, what the name says. And I'm just really feeling real full right now. And I thank you, sister, for what you are doing and being obedient to the call that God has placed on your life. And you are helping so many women to achieve and move forward in the purpose and goal that God has for their life. And something Dr. Renee said, that we need to help each other because not everybody knows what their purpose is or if they even have a purpose. And so having shows like this is certainly planting seeds in people's hearts. And so I commend you, my dear. I love you. And you just keep doing what God has called you to do. Y'all hear the kids in the background. I love you too, sister. Thank you again for your support and dining with us on this evening. I'm so glad that your plate was full and that you are empowered to move and drive forward. God bless you. I see we have another caller from area code 216. I want to welcome you to Spiritual Food for Thought Global Radio. This is our segment of Jumpstart Your Day. State your name and where you are calling from.
I am Tina Hobson, and I'm from Maple Heights, Ohio.
Well, awesome.
Good evening.
In the house. Good evening. My sister Tina is in the house.
Hey.
Well, God bless you, sister.
Oh, I am so honored to be able to hear this show tonight. Living my purpose. God wanted me here, so here I am. I'm just real honored and grateful tonight. Dr. Sunday, thank you for everything that you shared tonight. I came on a little bit late, but I did hear when you talked about, you know, interchanging, you can use the same tools for different things, you know, because actually grief is grief. You can grieve anything, the loss of anything, the loss of a person, the loss of a job, a loss of little kids grieve when they lose a tooth. You know, anything can be grieved. So I liked how you talked about, you know, using those spiritual tools to get through just any situation at all. But as you were talking, and as I've heard other people talk and experience different things, my question is, does it appear to you, the question that I put in on the Facebook page was, when did coaching leave the church and go into the world? It seems like there's more outside of the church coaching rather than in the church ministering. Do you see that? Do you feel that? Do you know where I'm coming from?
I know where you come. You know, it's so it's so amazing that you bring that up. You actually hit me right now, because so many people have told me that my calling is to be a minister, you know. But I have seen myself speaking and helping other people. But you know, the thing is, we have got in corporate America, and we use these words: guru, specialist, coach, and all those things. But you know what? If we really, and I know I'm hitting all of us by saying this, if we really sit down to the great teacher, and God would tell us what we need to do on a daily basis. But you know, a lot of churches are getting back to what you're saying. I've actually here in Atlanta, several churches are having classes that actually teach you, of course, the spiritual side that you get from the minister on Sundays, Wednesday, and et cetera. But they actually are doing classes of how to be a business owner. So I think it's coming back. It's coming back that the church is actually being the center. But what has happened, unfortunately, we've taken, and then people ask me, they say, well, you're a Christian, can you speak to someone that's a Hindu? And I'm like, well, of course, and I can say this just quickly. When I had to get people to review my book, I called the Grief Institute in California, and the man said, oh, I loved your book, great book, but you know what, I can't let you put anything in writing that I endorse your book. And I said, why? He said, but because we actually help people that's not Christians. And so I was hurt at first, to be honest, but I had to go in meditation. Wow. And God told me, now every time you speak, you don't have to say my name every other word. It's going to come through. It's going to come through regardless of what you write. It comes through regardless of what you say. But the thing is, you need to meet people where they are. There's so many stories in the Bible where Jesus was. Jesus was at the wedding, turning, water to wine. He was feeding the 5,000. He was out where the people were. He didn't worry about what their status was. He didn't worry about, were they, what they Gentiles or not. He didn't worry about. He helped people. He come to save all people. And so that's what I had to be a revelation. Because see, I thought, how are you dealing with grief with not knowing Jesus Christ?
Wow.
I mean, 'cause that's all I know. But God said, okay, show love. That's number one. Show love. And then every time I speak, and I'm not boasting by saying this, but every time I speak, someone always inbox me, or they'll pull me aside and say, why you got so much energy? Are you on something? And I tell them what I'm on. I'm on Jesus Christ. And see, that's the door has opened up. The door has opened up for me to minister right there.
Okay, I guess that Mary Mary song is the God in you. People can see it. They can feel it. They know that something's different. And I was, I'm really glad. I almost didn't ask that question. I didn't want to ruffle any feathers, But I was thinking that sometimes, we're members. Some of us, including myself, are members of these mega churches, with thousands and thousands and thousands of people, and you can't always get to your pastor. There was a time where, the pastor came to your house and ate chicken with you for dinner. That rarely happens anymore. The pastor would come to you, and today you can barely get to some of the pastors. So I'm saying what you're saying, that ministry can be anywhere.
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
outside of the four walls. And, the scripture tells us in John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life. And I also like what Dr. Sunday said. We are the disciples, and we're supposed to go into all the world. It tells us that in Mark 16:15. He said for them to go into all the world and preach the gospel to all creation. So that was a great question. My dear sister Tina Hopkins is in.
I love you.
Jumpstart Your Day. So I'm super excited. I want to thank you, sister, for your continued support of Spiritual Food for Thought Global Radio. That is one of our faithful listeners, Miss Tina Hopkins. God bless you, my sister.
God bless you. Amen.
Wow, what a powerful, powerful night, my dear sisters and brothers. And again, Dr. Sunday, I just want you to give them your contact information again on how they can follow you on Facebook. You said you had an exclusive group there on Facebook. Let them have that information one more time.
Yes, the Facebook group is called Get Purpose Mastermind Group, and my personal page is Renee Sunday. And, of course, I'm on Twitter, Renee Sunday as well. And if you want to download the book, I think you put it in the feed, though, but it's www.getpurposenow. Remember to put big G, big P, and big N. And it's a free download. And you can share it with people. It won't lock up if you're trying to share it.
What a blessing. And I've already downloaded my copy. I put it in our Facebook event page on Spiritual Food for Thought Global Radio. That way the link is there. All you have to do is go ahead and download. And, we want to hear from you. Once you read the book, we want to hear from you. The event page will be open. Go ahead and post your feedback, your biggest takeaway. We want to hear from you. Don't forget, we want you to tweet us out. It's Spiritual Food RA, and today's hashtag is JSYD. Stands for Jump Start Your Day. We had such a phenomenal night and such nuggets that was left on the table, and we want you to go ahead and pick it up and ingest and just be full to the overflow. He says, out of your belly shall flow rivers of living water, and that's what it's all about right here on Spiritual Food for Thought Global Radio. Now, Dr. Renee, I know you've given us some powerful nuggets, but I ask this with all of my guests that come and dine with us here on Jumpstart Your Day. What spiritual food for thought would you like to leave the listening audience with on this evening?
Oh, actually, that was right on time. Whatever you do, 3 things you need to do. You always have to believe, you have to trust Him, and then you just walk it out.
Believe, trust Him, and just walk it out. Now, that's a tweetable right there. You have to believe, trust Him, and walk it out. Hashtag JSYD. That is a tweetable. Dr. Renee Sunday. What an honor and a blessing to have you here in the studio. You know your family. You got to come on back and visit us again here on Spiritual Food for Thought Global Radio.
Oh, that'll be a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you. We have such feedback in on our event page. Ms. Tina Hobson, our faithful listener, says, what a great show. Ministry, thank you, Dr. Renee Sunday. Believe, trust Him, and walk it out. Look, they're already posting it in the feed now and tweeting it already. Awesome. Well, my sisters and brothers, that wraps up our show for this evening of Jumpstart Your Day. We are just super excited that you were here to dine with us. Again, don't forget to download our mobile app. O to the M to the G. Yes, log on to blackvibes.com/faith-a-believer. There you can download Spiritual Food for Thought mobile app to your Android or your BlackBerry, and we want to hear from you to continue to follow us and support us. We love you. Until the next time, it's your girl, your auntie, your sister, your friend, inspirational speaker, missionary LaTanyha. God bless you.
Spiritual food for thought, get the word into your heart.